Welcome. What the hell happened to me?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'd like to open this meeting. We'll be starting off with monthly reports. Honolulu Fire Department.
Aloha, I'm firefighter Varus of the Pālolo Fire Station, Blue Watch. Here I'm just to report the statistics representing the confirmed number of incidents in this geographical area of Pālolo for the previous month of April. For any more details on these incidents related to mapping information, please visit Fire Response Map on our HFD website at fire.honolulu.gov under the News and Info tab. And should you have any questions, please email the HFD's Public Affairs and Media Liaison at hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. So last month we had a question regarding, are there any trainings available for the public on the proper use of fire extinguishers and other fire extinguishing methods? We do provide fire and safety live presentations to the community. So please visit our website again at fire.honolulu.gov and go to the request tab to complete and submit an online request form at least 4 weeks out from your event. You can also contact the HFD Community Relations and Education section directly at 808-723-7168 for more information. And I believe that is actually Captain Malcolm Madrano. Yeah, he's the current lead there. So as far as incidents are concerned, for the month of April 2025, we had one structure fire, one nuisance fire. Nuisance fires are outside of the structure or outside of a car. We also had 32 medical emergencies and 4 motor vehicle crash and collisions. And that is it as far as incidents for the month of April. And we always kind of like to give you guys a fire safety tip. So for May of 2025, we want to really emphasize home fire sprinklers. Fire sprinklers can serve as the first line of defense against fires and often extinguish the fire before the fire department arrives. For more information, visit homefiresprinkler.org. Fires can spread quickly and a fire can turn deadly under 2 minutes. Synthetic materials burn quickly and release deadly poisonous smoke. So high-risk individuals in home fires include small children, elderly adults, those with disabilities, and pets. Fire sprinklers can protect your home and activate automatically to control the fire, therefore giving everyone a chance to escape. The best chance of protection is having smoke alarms, fire sprinklers, and escape fire plan. So again, to learn more about all of Honolulu's ordinances relating to fire safety, it's at fire.honolulu.gov. Any questions? Okay. Mahalo nui, guys.
Mahalo, thank you.
Pleasant evening.
Too. Thank you. Okay, as we get more people online, I'd like to welcome and thank you everyone for joining us in person and online, including our board members. Nice to see you folks. Honolulu Police Department.
Hi, good evening. Aloha, this is Lieutenant Miro from District 7. Starting off for our statistics for last month, motor vehicle thefts, we had 2, burglaries at 3, thefts at 13, unauthorized entry into a motor vehicle at 5. Total cost for service, $6,334. Our safety tips that we have for this month is tsunami. We all know what a tsunami is. So tsunami is just some other interesting facts is that tsunamis travel as fast as a jetliner, approximately 500 miles an hour in deep ocean with waves only a few inches high. Some of the things that people may not know, we always have warnings, but the other concern is that tsunamis that are generated locally, like if there's an earthquake, say like on the Big Island, some warning signs to watch out for is basically you feel the earth shake like an earthquake so strong that you feel you cannot stand. You see the ocean recede swirl or act unusual, where you hear the roar of a tsunami that sounds like a jet aircraft or a freight train. So in these situations, evacuate immediately to safe zones or move vertically to a building that is at least 10 stories to the fourth floor or higher. Do not wait for official warnings. Go on foot or bicycle if at all possible. Do not pack your belongings or delay, and do not return to the beach because large waves may continue to come onshore for hours. And that's I have. Any questions?
Mahalo for that report. I had a question. Wondering for I believe you said burglaries. Do we have like a window as to what times those are happening, or is there, is that available online?
I don't have the specifics on when. You're talking about the time window, like if it's overnight or morning hours, that kind of stuff.
Yes, yes.
I don't have anything specific. I don't believe that specific information is online. We can try and research it, and I can email it to you.
Okay, awesome. I think that's it. Thank you so much. Oh, Earl. Aloha, Earl. Go ahead.
Aloha. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can? Okay. Let me
Yes.
talk. I got a question for Ken, Lieutenant Miura. You taking the kind of Lieutenant Nakamura's place tonight?
Yes, he's off today this evening, sir.
Okay. Well, anyway, why is it? Because I was talking to him. Okay, this is the speed limit on 10th Avenue. Okay, going up, passing the Pālolo Chinese home. You
Okay.
familiar with that?
The 10th Ave Chinese home at the top.
Yeah, I was at top with the turn and everything. Well,
Okay.
anyway, 2 weeks ago, one of the residents complained about cars going fast again. Okay. Well, probably about 2 years or 1.5 years ago, I asked the department to put speed limit signs. So they did put speed limit signs, 10th Avenue. So now before you hit the the turns, follow Chinese home and everything, they get signs there and coming down. Okay.
Okay.
So apparently they don't see the sign or they're not listening to the reading to the sign. Well, anyway, about a week ago, I was sitting down and watching the traffic. Okay, I was sitting on the hospice on 10th Avenue where the cars make the turn. Well, as far as I'm concerned, they're probably coming up about 30 miles an hour. Okay, and make the turn one time. It's supposed to be 15 or you hardly see, but most of them, they're going 30. And it's a mean turn over there, see? While watching from the 10th, going up 10th into Chinese home. So, see, normally it's supposed to be already down Makanu Street. They're supposed to be slowing down already, by the store. Where you get a store on 10th Avenue that you go right down.
Yeah.
But you're going fast, so. What I was going to ask that guy, Lieutenant Nakamura, was then, if you can send somebody and come up and sit down and watch. I don't want nobody to think about when they get to stop. We need all the signs and everything. So, I would like you or him give me a call so I can meet with them about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know what I mean? And they can sit down with me where we can see all the cars, how fast the cars going up and down.
Okay. Well, it's a different shift. We'll let you know. So the speeding you're talking about, is that more in the afternoon that you noticed?
I'm not watching right now, and then, I cannot, so I can see whether afternoon or whatever.
Right.
Maybe
So,
nighttime more fast. I don't know.
so I mean, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, speeding is speeding is an issue like everywhere. So, but what we can do is, we can, we'll let the sector sergeants know, and then we'll have see if they can do a little bit more enforcement up there.
So what I'm trying to do is that, as far as I'm concerned, they are going to fast. Okay, so I wanted the lieutenant or me or one, he can send one of his crime patrolmen come up and meet me, and he can sit down and watch the traffic. Because if you're going to be down there where they can see you, they're going to slow down. You know what I mean? So I can tell him where he got to park his vehicle and then come down, and he can sit down with me on the hospital building and sit down for half an hour or so, see how the cars are going up and down. How
Okay.
fast.
Well, what could help also, if just say a time that's convenient for you, you can call 911 non-emergency, just request to speak to the meet with the officer at that time. Just because as far as your schedule, that kind of stuff, it'll take a little bit of coordination. But if you call 911 non-emergency, maybe you can try ask. That's just as an option.
What do you mean by calling 911? What are you going to do?
Well, you can ask to meet with have the officer meet up with you over there.
Is it going to be an officer out?
If you request one.
You know, I just want them to see, exactly what the traffic, how fast they're going, so they can know they know that something is happening.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. I 2 weeks ago I asked for a sign, and they put a sign, and they're not putting a sign in the right place too anyway. I said, I don't want to go against them guys, who put it on the sign. But you got to get the sign close by where the turn is, so you can see them straight before you make that turn. You can see the 15 miles an hour. The rest of them is covered by the trees.
Okay.
So Tom, give me a call, so get any officers so I can show them guys, and they can see how fast the cars are going and where they got to put on sign. Add sign. They get signs, they get plenty. But you got to add some signs where the motorists cannot say that they didn't know about them. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay,
Earl.
Lieutenant. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Okay.
I think
Thank
that's
you.
it. I don't think there's any more questions. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night. Next up, we have the Board of Water Supply.
Come in.
Hi. Yep. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hi, yes, we can hear you.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
All right. So, real quick, no main breaks in the month of April to report. The Waimau Homestead 8-inch water line construction project is complete. They're just awaiting chlorination before they activate the new main. We are heading into summer, so the Board of Water Supply just wants to remind everybody to be mindful of water use and conserve water. Some easy ways you can conserve water around the home, watering lawns and gardens in the early mornings or evenings, taking shorter showers, checking your home for leaks. Leaking flapper valves in toilets are notorious culprits of wasted water. You can visit our website, boardofwatersupply.com. If you search up rebates, we have a lot of rebates for water efficient fixtures, low flow toilets, and efficient shower heads and faucets as well. And that said, I know last month there was an inquiry about a water meter relocation for a parcel on La'i Road. If the person is present tonight, I do have some information. Otherwise, I can forward that in an email in case they approach any of the board members.
The individual is not here tonight.
Okay.
So
Should
you
I
can go ahead and
send
email
it
that.
to you? Okay.
Yes. Thank you so
Will
much.
do. And other than that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
We have any questions in person? Earl, did you have a question or is that from the previous?
We'll talk to him.
Okay. No, I think we're
Dominic.
good on that. Thank you, Dom.
You got me? No,
Yep.
like you said, I just want to thank the Board of Water Supply, that the job, you guys doing, huh? You know what I mean? And protecting the people's water and Ernie Law, you know what I mean? The main man, he,
Yeah.
he got to get, couple stars with him, you know. So I just want to thank all of you guys.
Thank
on
you.
Ernie
Appreciate it.
Law. Yeah, you guys doing a good job. Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
All right.
I'd like to call a brief recess. More than 2 minutes. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to call this meeting back in. See board business, unless there's any concerns, we're approving the board minutes. And then we're moving down to board member Pālolo. 3 notices of absence has been sent, and we'd like to defer this. Then we do have one more filling, a vacancy, one at large seat. So any residents that is interested, please approach the board. Okay. And then next week,
Point of order. I believe we have to vote on the approval of the minutes.
that was mentioned. For the minutes, is there any objections or corrections? Randy? Go ahead.
Period.
Randy, I think you're on mute.
Okay, I move to
Oh, there you
approve the
go.
minutes. I
Yes.
move to approve, please.
Second.
Thank you. No. Thank you so much. And then moving down to presentations, I have Cyrus with the Hawaii Green Growth.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Chair, and thank you, members of the board, for having me. My name is Cyrus Howe. I work at a local nonprofit called Hawaii Green Growth, and the presentation that I'll be sharing with you all today is about an initiative that we're socializing with community members across the Alawai watershed. So if we're able to... So by way of introduction about our organization first, before I get into this, the main topic, the Alawai Watershed Special Improvement District, I just wanted to share a couple of things about Hawaii Green Growth, the Aloha Plus Challenge and the Aloha Plus Dashboard, where we track all the state's progress or lack thereof, basically status, towards sustainability goals is what we're best known for. Oh no, my remote control. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yes, and so we lead a number of working groups, and one of them is the Alawai Watershed Collaboration, and this is a group of various stakeholders, public-private partnership. We are a trust-based network organization, and so these are members from every level of government, as well as nonprofits, such as Protect Our Alawai. And so it's in these forums that quarterly meetings that we discuss ways to improve and best practices, the state and health of our Alawai watershed. So some people sometimes ask us, what is a watershed? And we're very fortunate here in Hawaii to be able to see it practically every day, whereas on the mainland, sometimes these can stretch for thousands of miles. It's really a body of ridges and streams and a water system that feeds into streams, canals, and ultimately the ocean. This map just shows basically the rainfall footprint across Oahu. This is a picture of the Mililani Mauka fire that happened just months after the Lahaina fire. And this was really noteworthy because these are the ridge tops of forests that are typically always covered in clouds, and they're really not supposed to catch fire. And so we're really concerned about the health of our forests that attract clouds, rainwater. 100% of our potable water comes from rain. It comes from the ground where Board of Water Supply pumps. And so this is the type of mountainside that we do not want to see. This is just a before and after development picture of what our watershed, specifically the Waikiki area, looked like. And this is a picture of the Pālolo stream just down the hill from St. Louis School that I just thought we're showing, kind of going from the high level to the ground level view perspective of our watershed to show you how much urbanization has affected what used to be, and in some cases still are, natural pathways for water. So this idea for a special improvement district to really help mobilize and empower initiatives to remove invasives and basically support the strength of our communities in the watershed has been around for decades, at least since the 90s when the DOH commissioned these reports on the watersheds. And so now we're in a place where Hawaii Green Growth has commissioned just a few years ago more reports to explore the feasibility of this idea. What is a district? So Fort Street Mall Business Improvement District is one example. So they, for example, the twice a week farmers markets that they host there. Waikiki Beach Special Improvement District, when you see those Aloha ambassadors, the guys in the high vis on the bikes, helping keep the area clean and safe and helping tourists get around. Those are some examples of how special improvement districts can take place and benefit the community. This just shows a few of our partners across the watershed. Everything from UH research to nonprofits, and so I just wanted to show some more examples of why we're trying to do what we're doing in terms of saving the water. So flood risk mitigation is one of our goals. Catching water to recharge our aquifers. When you have an urban watershed like ours, a lot of that is concrete, impervious surface area. Water cannot reach into the ground like it naturally would, like you'd see in other watersheds. And then the last reason is the last goal is because we have a lot of runoff pollution that is caused by all this rainwater hitting our streets, hitting our asphalt shingle rooftops, and catching all the animal poop and pollution, the copper from our brake pads. It all goes into our ocean, and it's not good for many species, from insects to the Hawaiian monk seal, green sea turtle. And this is just an image that demonstrates that cloud to basically storm drain life cycle. We just installed actually with the help of the property manager, a small rain barrel at the Mokulani in Makiki. This is just noteworthy because condos are sometimes known for being a little bit difficult to work with, but we wanted to demonstrate that, when you have a board that is on board with this type of initiative and a property manager that is also, this can happen. This is a rain garden just to the left of the entrance at the Waikiki Aquarium. These are excellent ways to recharge aquifers too. This is actually Albizia control. So this is one of the steps in taking down these trees that are very brittle around the roots, and they can be really dangerous to hikers, but also when they fall into streams, they can actually exacerbate flooding. You've probably seen some of these before, debris removal. These are the sort of catchers on the flanks of the canal. So UH has there's been a recent bill that was passed to fund more research led by UH to install more of these. And I just wanted to end my example slides with a shout out to 808 Cleanups, because I just admire the work that they have been tirelessly doing for many years, not just in our watershed, but across Oahu. These are some examples of projects that would benefit from a special improvement district. This is not going to be one of those tax assessed, tax funded type of districts. The reason why we want to set up a special improvement district like this is so that we can access funding more easily and as a collective. My remote control die. If you could advance slide, please. Just the last couple slides here. So this QR code goes to that URL at the bottom there. It goes to a simple Google website that we put together that acts as a hub for all of our information, including the draft bill. For anybody and everybody to read and provide feedback. We just really want to get the community's feedback as far as from governance to the goals and how to spend funding too. So please do give us a visit there. All the studies that have gone into this are also accessible there at the bottom. They're just listed there as links. And the QR code here is the same, goes to the same website. With that, I will end my presentation and ask if there are any questions.
Hi, thanks for talking with us, Mr. Howell. You were talking about putting together a special improvement district. Where precisely are you talking about? Because the watershed to me seems enormous. Yeah, what's the kind of the physical bounds? What are you talking about there?
That's a great question. So the Alawai watershed, as we see it, is between basically Diamond Head and Punch Bowl from the Ko'olau ridgetops down to the reefs, down to the beach. Yeah, it's very big. It's I think at least 11 neighborhoods and 200,000 residents. I mean, it is the most urban dense watershed in the state. So we also like to think that we can be an example to other urban watersheds, not just across the rest of the state, but across other island and coastal municipalities.
And SID being determined a special improvement district, you're saying would help access state and federal funding to help with these various projects?
Yes, precisely. As well as city and county, we would hope, and private philanthropic. Thank you. Okay.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Earl, did you have a question for Mr. Howell?
No.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Thank you. Right. We'd like to see if there's any resident community concerns online or in person.
Chair.
Hi, go ahead.
Chair, hi, this is Kevin Lai. I'm a member of Downtown Chinatown Neighborhood Board, a former chair, but I'm speaking to you and your members tonight as an individual. It's about a matter that relates to the neighborhood board elections. And I know that your district, or at least some of your subjects, are not contested elections, but this issue is a matter of principle and matter of fact, which should impact and be of concern to each of the candidates, but more importantly, the voters in your district. And the issue is this: unfortunately, the ballots for contested neighborhood board elections across the city and county have been prepared incorrectly by the neighborhood commission office, acting as a proxy of the neighborhood commission. There are certain portions of the neighborhood plan, which, as you well know, are the rules and by which we have all agreed to participate, that have not been followed. It's concerning because it represents the fact that the neighborhood commission office appears to be able to selectively choose which parts of the neighborhood plan to enforce. This is not a new issue. The same thing happened during the 2023 election. I'll be brief, and I'm going to ask just this of you, your colleagues, and those in the room and who are online. I'm going to post into the chat a link to an email, rather to a web page, which lists a letter that can be sent to the neighborhood commission before their next meeting, which is next Monday night at 6 p.m., to express your concerns about the way the election has been processed, and that you believe that the Rules should be followed in every case, every time, and parts of the neighborhood plan cannot be selectively chosen to be followed. My email is in there. I'm happy to field questions from anyone anytime about this important issue, because next time it might be something that impacts you or your sub-district. So we need to fix it now. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Does anyone any questions? Thank you.
So if you could elaborate on fixing it, take me through that.
Certainly. There are statutes that are established, and there is case law that's established that suggests that a foiled election or a fouled election cannot just simply be having, for example, ballots reprinted and submitted to voters who have not yet voted, because all voters deserve to have the same information. So the hope is that the neighborhood commission will acknowledge the error, and instead of waiting until after the election to be completed, when obviously a majority of the candidates will be seated and have no interest or desire to change the election outcome, to fix it before the election is over and to make it fair for everyone involved.
Thank you again. Do we have any questions online? Randy?
Yes, I've read my understanding is your issue is that the order of the order of the alphabetic order of candidates has not been followed. Is that correct, Miss Doctor?
Thank you, Mr. Hack. That is indeed part of it. The neighborhood plan, of course, mandates that candidates be listed by last name first in alphabetical order. That was not followed in this case. But in addition, there are some candidates who have been permitted to use no last name or no way for voters to identify who they truly are. And so that's also of concern. So there are a number of issues that are at play.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions online or in person? We have one more. Okay. Nope, I think we're good, actually. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Doctor.
Any other resident concerns, community concerns? Okay. And moving on to Congressman Ed Case. Not here. City Council Member Scott Nishimoto.
Hi, Chair. Hi, board members. Can you all hear me?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, perfect. Just here to give the report for Councilmember Nishimoto. He sends his regards. He did want me to share that the council is still currently working on the budget, but in the current draft of the budget, it does include funding for park improvements in District 5, which does include Pālolo District Park. I also just wanted to share 2 quick updates from last month. We submitted a riser for speeding concerns on Kiwila Street. So that one was referred to HPD, and we'll keep you updated on the progress of that one. And we also submitted another riser in regards to illegal dumping on the corner of 10th Ave and Carlos Long Street. So the city's Department of Environmental Services, so EMB, responded. They let us know that they sent one of their inspectors to the site and the debris has been cleared. As always, I'll leave a link to in the chat to sign up for our weekly e-blasts. But if there's any other questions or concerns, I'm happy to relay them to council member.
Thank you so much. Do we have any questions in person or online? Okay. I have a question. You had mentioned the budget and Pālolo Park being on that budget. I'm not sure if this is a question for your folks' office. Or if you could guide me to the right people. I was wondering, who would I reach out to in regards to like the makeovers? So I drove past the park today, and it looks like the playground area was being redone. I didn't see any issues on that, for example. It was perfectly fine, but for whatever reason, now the ground is taken off, like the padding for, I'm not sure what you call that.
That's
But
the
the
playground at the
cushion,
district
yeah.
park.
The playground
I
at the
can-
district park, and that district park, that playground was recently installed. It's not that old at all. So I was
Okay,
wondering,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll follow up on this for you, Chair, and then I can send you an email.
okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for submitting those risers.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
And then we have Randy online. Randy, your mic is muted.
Okay,
Thank
I'd
you.
like an update on the status of the lights for the Pālolo Park for our kids. And from the council perspective as well, okay?
I'm not too sure on the status update for this. I can double check with DPR or I believe perhaps mayor's representative might have an update. But if not, I
Right,
can.
I just wanted to make sure that council has continued to be aware of this.
Yes, and that's definitely something we can follow up on as far as timeline.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that's it. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then next we have Deputy Director Warren Mamizuka.
Aloha, good evening, Neighborhood Board Chair Oswego and Neighborhood Board members. Thank you for having me. Just want to start it off with, some of the mayor's, some highlights from the mayor's newsletter. The city and state leaders recruit more guardians ad litem to help with assisted community treatment programs for Oahu's homeless community, sorry. Mayor Blangiardi signs bills into law on Waikiki street festivals, outdoor dining rules. Also, recreational fishing returns to the world famous Ho'omaluhia Botanical Garden in Kaneohe. Also, another article you can find in the newsletter is city leaders unveil a massive new solar canopy at the Blaisdell Center to celebrate Earth Day in Honolulu. I'm going to ask Camelia if she could add the link to the chat box if you're interested and want to view more of the highlights in the newsletter. And also we have from the Department of Parks and Recreation, get ready to register for a summer of fun classes at city parks and gardens. From Keiki to Kupuna, Waianae to Waimanalo, a season full of amazing recreation and educational opportunities is available to you at your city parks and gardens. Registration for Summer Fun 2025 will begin, or it began, May 12th through May 16th, with enrichment class signups from May 15th to May 19th, based on where your program is located. And you can enroll in summer fun and enrichment classes will be primarily conducted online through the activity section of the Parks and Recreation online system, pros.hnl.info. Though walk-in accommodations are available. The 2025 Summer Fun sites and which ones offer Summer Plus are indicated on the interactive Summer Fun map. And I'm going to ask Camelia if she could also add the link for the Summer Fun maps onto the chat box. And also looking for a fun part-time job this summer. This popular program still needs plenty of motivated workers to enrich our keiki with positive and empowering activities. For more information and to apply online, Camelia, could you please add that link to the chat box, please? And last, not sure which park district your program is located. Use your interactive map to find the park location near you, which district it is located, and how to contact park staff. Camille, could you also add that link to the chat box? Thank you. And moving on to a follow-up on department issues. There was one issue from last month, but we're going to actually defer our response to next month. But the issue was federal to municipal workforce transition hiring initiative. The board would like to know in the coming months how many former federal workers, displaced workers are applying for the accelerated application process through this initiative. So we'll get back with the neighborhood board next month, and at this time, I'll take any questions.
I have one
Thank-
question.
Yes.
I would like to know, actually, more specifically, since it's an accelerated hiring program for the displaced and former federal workers, I'd actually like to know the numbers hired, and so would Representative Sayama. He's with the Labor Department of the Labor Committee at the legislature. So it's actually those who've actually been hired. Applying is okay. That number is fine, but the number hired, because my understanding is this is an accelerated program.
Got it. I'm hoping that we can get back to you with that next month.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Randy.
A couple meetings ago, some citizens asked about the lights at the pool, Pālolo pool, the parking lot lights, and I'm not sure we've got an update on that. The pool was being used at night, but there's no lights. There are light standards, but there's no lights in the parking lot, and it was dark by the time they got to their car. So they had asked if there's a way to get those lights back up and running.
Yeah, I can't remember what the problem was. I think I have a guess, but I could be wrong. But I think it has to do with something that the repairs for the lights is actually within the construction fenced area, and so we wouldn't be able to get in to make the repairs until the project is completed. Yeah, but we can follow up with that next month. I'm almost certain that's what it was. Yeah.
Then I have a question. I'm not sure if this would be in your area. We were asked about getting community feedback and response in regards to like the dog park, like parks being listed as a dog park or dogs being allowed. Who would we give that response to?
That would be with the Department of Parks and Recreation, and I know that they have been working diligently
Okay.
in a lot of communities to open up dog parks. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Thank
been
you.
a request made by many communities.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have Governor Josh Green's representative, Kiale Ahmedsaid.
Aloha, excuse me. Aloha, good evening, everyone. Kiale Amundsen with the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency, representing the governor's office. I'd like to share some highlights and news coming out of the governor's office. First, on April 7th, the Department of Health launched the Hawaii Health and Media Survey to learn about how people access and respond to health-related information. The survey utilized a new method of text messaging to reach a broader audience. If people receive those text messages, we just encourage you to go ahead and complete the survey. It takes about 10 minutes, and we just want to assure you that it is confidential. On April 12th, an amnesty program was executed by the Department of Law Enforcement, where Oahu residents turned in an estimated 367 firearms in exchange for nearly 338,000 in Foodland gift cards. This was a no questions asked initiative, an effort, of course, by the governor who wanted to implement this to help protect Hawaii's residents from gun violence. Next, on April 14th, Governor Green traveled to American Samoa to join the community in commemorating the 125th Flag Day celebration. The event honored the historical moment on April 17th, 1900, when the U.S. flag was raised on Tutuila Island, marking the beginning of a political relationship between American Samoa and U.S. On May 2nd, the governor traveled to California to attend the annual Milken Institute Global Conference. The conference brought people together from around the world to engage in critical discussions regarding public health, community resilience, disaster preparedness, and global leadership. And speaking of preparedness, the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency is circulating a Hawaii community preparedness survey. HAEMA would like to learn more about how they can better serve and educate the public so that on the importance of disaster preparedness so that we can help people. Fun fact, only 20% of Hawaii residents are prepared. That's quite a low number. So we want to make sure that we learn from people so that we can teach them how to be better prepared. I'll go ahead and add the link for the survey in the chat box. We just encourage you to take some time and complete that survey as well. To further add to preparedness, the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs Insurance Division reminded consumers to evaluate their insurance policies before hurricane season, which starts June 1st. And then lastly, on April 17th, the Hawaii State Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism announced that the seasonally adjusted unemployment rate in March was at 2.9% compared to 3.0% in February. The labor force statewide was at 686,500 employees. To that end, I would like to report numbers from the governor's expedited Operation Hire Hawaii program, as was requested at the last meeting. According to DHERD, there were 4,064 applications received as of yesterday. There were 105 opened recruitments, 29 already closed, and 47 individuals hired. Of that number, 10 were federal displaced workers. So for more interesting stories and or highlights, you can visit the governor's website and read up on Kealoha, his newsletter. You can visit governor.hawaii.gov. That's the end of my report, pending any questions.
Thank you so much for that. We have any questions online, in person? I think we're okay. Thank you so much. Then next we have Representative Jackson Sayama.
Good evening, Chair, members of the board, members of the public. My name is Jackson Sayama. I'm the State House Representative for Pālolo Valley. I'm also serving as the chair of the Labor Committee in the House of Representatives. So as many of you know, we finished the legislative session for this year, ended in May. So just want to give you broad highlights of the budget and some of the legislation that I think you might be interested in. So the biggest budget line item was for the Maui Wildfire Settlement Trust Fund. That was $400 million to pay out some of the claims related to the Maui wildfires. This is only a part of that settlement fund. The rest is being contributed by other parties like Kamehameha and Hiko. So again, this is one step closer to helping those families in Lahaina who lost either loved ones or their properties during that tragedy. Next, we invested substantially in housing, affordable housing for $240 million in the Rental Housing Revolving Fund. Next was $150 million for deferred maintenance for Department of Education properties. And again, trying to address that backlog of deferred maintenance for schools like Pālolo Elementary, right? I think for years, DOE has struggled to keep up with the maintenance. And so I think this year DOE has made a concerted effort to really address those much needed projects. The next one, which got a lot of support, was for the school food and nutrition development programs. Essentially, right, this is the free school meals bill. Any student that is eligible for a discounted meal for lunch basically gets a free now. And this funding is for 2 years. And we hope that we'd be able to continue this program further beyond the 2-year mark. But, this is the first time we're doing this, and I hope, I'm sure this will have a great impact on the students now that they're able to be fed without having to worry about whether they could pay for it or not. Next is $42 million or $43 million for call holiday initiatives to address houselessness issues across the state. $50 million for nonprofits. This is basically a lot of nonprofits are losing their federal funding. So we wanted to make sure that when they do, that the state has a mechanism to ensure that funding continues on. Of course, this 50 million can't go to every single nonprofit that's going to be losing money. So I think the priority will be for health and safety for those nonprofits providing those services. Next, we have 30 million for the healthcare education loan repayment program. This is to help medical students going to the John A. Burns Medical School at UH pay off their student loans after having served in a rural medicine in Hawaii for, I think, 5 years. Again, trying to encourage our medical students, once they graduate, do their residencies, to come back to Hawaii and serve in their communities that they grew up in. 20 million for skilled nursing services. This is, again, to address healthcare shortages. We've seen many nursing strikes and shortage issues come up during the legislative session. So we want to ensure that we have a sufficient amount of nurses to actually be able to work in our local hospitals. $13 million for preschool open doors program. Again, effort by the Lieutenant Governor to ensure that we have pre-K options available for our local families. And finally, 12.7 million for biosecurity initiatives to address invasive species like the coqui frogs back here in Pālolo Valley, or the coconut rhinoceros beetles and little fire ants on the windward side. Again, I think we've seen over the past few years the devastating impact of these invasive species on our ecosystems, our environments, but also our economy, especially with regards to agriculture and tourism. Now, just a few highlights for legislation relating to labor. We invested millions of dollars into supporting Green Jobs Youth Corps, as well as expanding the Helemua internship program. Both of these initiatives connect graduates from high school and college with on-the-job experiences. For Helemua, that's $20 an hour. For the Green Jobs Youth Corps, we got programs like Kupu, who, right from the start, get students involved or graduates involved and start paying them a job for a year. And then after that year, they could continue to go on as a full-time position in that business, or they could go off to do bigger and better things. Fireworks, we addressed a number of issues related to illegal fireworks. We amended the definition to make it easier for law enforcement to crack down on offenders. Up until this point, it's been difficult for HBD to actually cite and fine those who have been illegally lighting up fireworks. The aerials we see here in Pālolo Valley every New Year's, they need to gather a substantial amount of evidence, video footage, testimony, which was almost impossible and no one was willing to do. Now, if HPD sees someone doing it, they could just ticket them on site rather than having to collect evidence, testimony, all this stuff. So it should help the issue, and hopefully we'll see that at least by the next New Year celebrations. Hopefully we'll see some improvement by July 4th as well. We also invested $2.3 million into illegal fireworks sting operations, as well as investment into an explosive and firearms laboratory for safe storage and disposal of these illegal fireworks. Okay, and for transportation, we drafted and passed a omnibus e-bike regulation bill to address some of the e-bike issues that we've been seeing all across our communities. Especially we've seen on the west side in Kapolei, there was that incident maybe 2 months ago where there were hundreds of e-bike riders just storming the roads and overwhelming transportation systems there. So we managed to define e-bikes more concretely, as well as increase penalties and put speed restrictions for these different categories of e-bikes. So again, trying to clarify what an e-bike is so that HPD and law enforcement across the state of Hawaii is able to crack down on these issues. Now, there are a number of more legislations. I think there were around 380 bills passed this session. So that's more than usual. And this is despite all the anxiety regarding federal funding. So I think this was a very productive legislative session, but there's a lot more work to be done. During this interim, I'll be leading a task force relating to paid family leave. Again, this is to address cost of living issues, but also to address issues for younger families who are thinking of having children, also for families, right, who need to take care of their kupuna, that they could take off from work without having to worry about completely losing their income while doing so. So again, that's something that I'm continuing to work on into the next legislative session, as well as other workforce related issues for my labor committee. With that, I am available for questions.
Do we have any questions online? Earl? Earl, your mic is muted. There we go. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You can hear me.
Yeah.
Well, President Sayama is doing a good job. You know, all that stuff you say you're doing, but I've been talking to you for so long about our fire alarm right over here in our valley. Okay, I think look like the government tends to forget about the fire alarm. Fire alarm is very, very important. Okay? All in the schools, high rises and everything. And if Maui had that stuff there, we would have less people getting killed. You know, I know a fire alarm, you know what I mean? You can hear that stuff. You're going to come out of place, you're going to look around and what's happening. Okay? But I've been waiting for here when our fire alarm is going to be heard in our valley. Okay? It's not that I'm looking at TV every time, but that's the reason why. Okay?
Okay, Earl, I will.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll circle back with Haima about the emergency sirens that you're talking about. Last time I checked, it was still on the list for repair rather than decommission. So I just got to circle back with them to get a timeline for them.
Yeah, it's too long then already. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, Jeffrey.
Thanks, Earl.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Randy. Yeah, you earlier had a question regarding the Operation Hire Hawaii. I didn't. I asked Deer Herd for any statistics they might have to identify hires that happened after Operation Hire Hawaii or resulted directly from that program. They couldn't give me data on how many people were hired. They only were able to give me that 2,000 plus applications were received.
Thank you, but governor's representative gave us some numbers already. She has the current numbers. Kiele Amundsen has the numbers if you're interested.
Okay, you good.
Thank you.
I think maybe this question is actually better directed towards the chair, but in response to the legislative change to the ways that police are allowed to engage with fireworks calls, I'm curious to know if that, because it sounds from my understanding, will be on break this following month, and we won't be back in session until after July 4th. So I'd be really curious to see if we could correspond with our local police to see if, in addition to having this new legislative power to just cite individuals with fireworks, if that's also going to be coupled with actual patrols, because in my opinion, it doesn't do much if we don't have police patrols on the night of, say, July 4th or New Year's. So I'd just be curious to know if our local police force has the intention to send out more patrols on those evenings to take advantage of the legislative powers that they're granted. So not sure where exactly to direct that question, but that was an inquiry that kind of came up.
Well, from what I understand with HPD, yes, they do dispatch a lot more officers during those events because they know for certain that there are going to be more violators. So hopefully, yeah, we see some results. I believe that law takes effect July 1st, 2025. So I think that the chair of public safety and judiciary have been working in tandem with HPD on this legislation. So they should be set and ready. But again, new laws take some time to educate enforcement as well as the public. So, we might see some improvement July 4th, but I think most of the effects that we'll see from this legislation will be more New Year's time. Sure.
Thank you, Representative.
We have any more questions online or in person? No, I think we are good. Thank you
you.
so much for all of that information.
Thank you. Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Representative.
Okay, moving on to Senator Lesihara. I do not see him online or in person. So that concludes our meeting. Next meeting, we have recess for June for next month. So we will be back in session July 9th at 7 p.m. Same location. And that's about it. You're good? Okay.
Thank you so
Meeting
much,
adjourned.
Chair.
Thank you.
Chair.
Thank you guys for attending online. Thank you.